Bookish friends, welcome to my second video of my booktube birthday week. In this video I will do a double tag which mostly consists of questions about my reading tastes and habits. First 20 bookish questions tag and then in and out tag. I was tagged in both of these tags by Courtney Ferreter. As far as I know, I have not been tagged by anybody else in these tags. Let's start with 20 bookish questions tag. The original tag was created by Book Time with Elvis. And question 1. How many books is too many in a book series? If it's a series of individual stories, then I do not think there is a limit to a series. But if it is a continuous story and the book somewhat ends with cliffhangers, then I would say about 5 books is enough for a continuous story. Question 2. How do you feel about cliffhangers? I actually love them between chapters. I have to admit I do not hate them at the end of the books in series. It could be because I'm a backlist reader and I most of the time read the series not in current time, so I can read the series back to back if I want to. But it would be a pity if the book is not turned into the series like it was originally planned to. Then those kind of cliffhangers would really annoy me. Question 3. Hardback or paperback? I prefer paperback because they are easy to carry, and since I mostly read during my commute, I think carrying the books is much more important than the prettiness of the book for me. My favorite book is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I have talked many times about this book and it's my favorite because I love the character of Jane. I'm not a big fan of the romance story, but I am very much impressed by the character development of Jane in this book. Question 5. Least favorite book? I do not think I have a least favorite book, but I can talk about the worst book that I read. It was a freebie in my tablet application called 48 Hours to Die, an Anthony Stone novel by Silk White. I can only say that the author wrote Anthony Stone all the time. The hero of the book was mentioned, so it was like Anthony Stone got up from his chair and then Anthony Stone opened the door. There was a dog outside the door and Anthony Stone petted the dog. That was how the book was structured. I didn't DNF this book because I thought there has to be a reason that this book is written, and unfortunately I couldn't see the reasoning behind this book when I finished the book. Fortunately, it was a short book. Question 6. Love triangles, yes or no? Usually no, because in many of the books they are not actually triangles, because it is clear who the chosen one would be. So if it is done really well and we cannot guess who the hero or the heroine would choose, I wouldn't mind knife triangles, but as I've said before, they are not usually like that. Question 7. The most recent book you just couldn't finish. It was A Single Man by Christopher Isherwood. I think his last name is pronounced like this, but I'm not really sure. It's considered as an LGBTQ classic, but the reason that I didn't DNF this book is of course not about the gender issue. It's about the fact that the main character was extremely racist and I hated to be in his mind. So that's why I DNF'd the book. A book you're currently reading, it's Still Alice by Lisa Genova. I'm buddy reading this book with Becca at Hicks Picks Books. It's a really difficult read, but I'm loving the book so far. Question 9. Last book you recommended to someone. It's Remains of the Day by Kazi Ishiguro. About a month ago, I was recommending this book to anybody who comes across my way. It has been fortunately translated to Turkish so that I could advise this book with a extremely beautiful writing style to all of my friends. Question 10. Oldest book you read according to publication date. According to Goodreads, it's The Art of War by Sun Tzu. And it was an interesting book for me. I've never been interested in The Art of War, but one of the earliest books about strategic thinking. That's why I wanted to read this. Question 11. Newest book you read according to publication date again. It's Agustina de Aragon by Gail Mead. I received this book for an honest review from Book Sirens. And it was published in, I think, in May of 2021. It was the most pleasantly surprising book of last month, and I really enjoyed the historical fiction parts of the book. The romance was also really good, but I'm always happy when I read about a time period that I'm not familiar with as a historical fiction book lover. Question 12. Favorite author, Agatha Christie. I will not say much. Question 13. Buying books or borrowing books. Lately, I've started to borrow books in my iPad application, Storytel, so it's borrowing books. Question 14. A book you dislike that everyone seems to love. I cannot say that it's one of the best beloved books of all time, but Roald Dahl is a very beloved author in BookTube, and I didn't love many of his books, but I strongly disliked Fantastic Fox, which was about a fox who was a thief, and I couldn't really get on with the ethics of this book. Question 50. Bookmarks or dog ears? Bookmarks, I simply cannot do dog ears. I'm not against anybody who does that, but it's really hard for me to even think about doing something like that. Question 16. A book you can always reread. Persuasion. You know, this book would come eventually, wouldn't you? Question 17. Can you read while hearing music? If the music does not have lyrics, I can do music. If the music is not too loud, because too loud music also annoys me. But if I had to choose between silence and having a music, I would choose silence. Question 18. One point of view or multiple points of view? It's multiple points of view for most books, but for mystery books, I love when it's one point of view, because it really enhances the mystery of the book. Question 19. Do you read a book in one sitting or over a multiple days? Usually over multiple days and sittings. Question 20. Who do you tag? I'm really late in doing this tag because I wanted to save it for this week. But I want to tag Julie at Hungry Bookworm if she did not do the tag. And likewise, if she did not do the tag, I also would like to tag Linda at Linda's World of Books. The second tag that I was tagged by Courtney in the same video is In or Out Book Tag. This tag was originated by Rick McDonnell. I will be quick to answer the questions. I will say definitely in, definitely out, or partially in or partially out to save time. What I mean by partially is that for partially out, I prefer the negative answer, but it's not a definite no. For partially in, likewise, I prefer the positive answer, but it's not definitely yes for me. Number 1, reading last page first, definitely out. Number 2, enemies to lovers, partially in. Number 3, dream sequences, partially out. Number 4, love triangles, partially out. Number 5, cracked spines, definitely in. Number 6, back to my small town, definitely in. Number 7, monsters are regular people, partially yes. Number 8, no paragraph breaks, definitely out. Number 9, monthly generational sagas, definitely in. Number 10, rereading, partially out. Number 11, artificial intelligence, partially in. Number 12, drop caps, definitely out. Number 13, happy endings, partially in. Number 14, plot points that only converge at the end, partially in. Number 15, detailed magic systems, partially in. Number 16, classic fantasy races, partially out. Number 17, unreliable narrators, partially in. Number 18, evil protagonists, definitely in. Number 19, the chosen one, partially out. Number 20, when the protagonist dies, partially out. Number 21, really long chapters, definitely out. Number 22, French plebs, definitely out. Number 23, deckled edges, partially in. Number 24, signed copies by the author, partially out. Number 25, dog earring pages, you know the answer to this one, definitely out. Number 26, chapter titles instead of numbers, partially yes. So those were the answers to both of the tags. Thank you, Courtney, for tagging me. And if you have tagged me, please accept my apologies for not noticing. So please comment down below, what is your least favorite book? I really would like to know the answer to that question. And if you're a new viewer, first of all, welcome. Please like and subscribe. Hope to see you very soon. Bye. As for Turkish word of the day, I'm going to choose out for the Turkish word of the day. Out means dışarı in Turkish, and dışarı is our Turkish word of the day. Have a good day.